Drive-in.
Welcome back, everyone, to a new set of old school, semi-new school, and all in between monster movies that we all love. We're going to start this batch off with a movie from 1931. One of, in my opinion, the best classic monster movies, and his name has been said wrong for a long time.
Dr. Jekyll.
Jekyll. Quite disgusting, Jekyll. Jekyll is calling. Jekyll? I come from Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is a Paramount movie, which kind of excludes it from the Universal monsters, but I've always grouped in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with all those movies. This was directed by Ruben Mamaloon. Well, you know, you guys are used to that by now anyways. I can't pronounce names. Let's just keep this going. This is a good old-fashioned supernatural horror sci-fi, and in some ways, even body horror, you know, because he's switching back and forth. That's pretty cool for a 1931 movie. Our movie begins with a good old-fashioned title screen and some classy music. The music of this movie was composed by Herman Hand. I love a good movie card. This tells us all of our actors and actresses in it. Its opening scene is a really cool first-person view of a man playing the organ. His butler's name is Pole, played by Edgar Norton. Remember him from The Son of Frankenstein? He's letting the organ player know that his address at the university is starting very soon. The first-person view continues throughout the house and just past a mirror by the front door, where we see our person, who we're seeing through the eyes of, Dr. Henry Jekyll, played by Frederick March. After a ride in his horse and carriage and arriving at the college and walking through the halls of the school, and we get into the lecture hall, the movie switches from first person to the other doctor's perspectives. He wants to remove the animal evil from inside us, man.
If these two cells could be separated from each other, how much freer the good in us would be.
The attendees exiting think that this is an insane idea.
To divide a human being in two, ridiculous.
He discusses it more with his colleague, Dr. Lane, played by Herbert Holmes. Later reminds him that they have a meeting later that night. Jekyll says he has something else going on later, but he will definitely join him for dinner. He heads over to the hospital to check on a couple of his patients, which actually causes him to cancel dinner with Layton because he needs to operate on one of them immediately. He informs Layton that he's gonna have to tell the other guests, sorry, I can't make it, especially the general, but Jekyll will tell Muriel. Another interesting transition for the time. Muriel is played by Rose Herbert, and the general is played by Hallowell Hobbs. He misses dinner, but makes sure to make it for the dance after party. Jekyll wants to be married ASAP. The general says, no, you're gonna have to wait, my friend. This pisses Jekyll off quite a bit. While walking home after, Jekyll and Lanyon see a girl getting smacked around by a man. And he jumps in and wails on the guy's face. Jekyll carries the poor girl home. Her name is Ivy Pearson, played by Miriam Hopkins. She is, well, let's just say that the fellow who punched her was a regular for her. She shows Jekyll where he roughed her up, and,
Oh my.
yeah, that's a lot.
Oh my.
She tries really hard for the doctor, and for a 30s movie, this is a lot of skin. Luckily for him, bad for her, Lanyon shows up and says it's time to leave. Eyes away there, Lanyon. Lanyon tells Jekyll that his actions were inappropriate.
I thought your conduct quite disgusting, Jekyll. Conduct? Why, a pretty girl kissed me. Should I have called the constable?
And they have to discuss his theory about separating the animal instinct from the man again. Lanyon says it's a crazy theory, but only he can do that alone to control his own urges, obviously alluding a little bit back to what just happened. Now we come to the most awesome scene in the movie, and probably the most famous. Dr. Jekyll creating his potion to remove the animal. This whole part was done with lights and makeup effects and camera skill. It is absolutely phenomenal. These makeup effects were done by Norbert A. Miles and Wally Westmore. Gotta give them a shout out because they did a phenomenal job here. This is movie magic, and another cool first-person shot. Pete Davis, now we have Mr. Hyde. This also shows March's great acting skills as the animal monster now.
I beg your pardon, sir. I thought I heard a strange voice.
That's quite all right, Poole. There was someone here, a friend of mine. His name is, Hyde. Mr. Hyde. He just gone out the back door.
Jekyll gets really irritated again when Muriel says, we have to wait to be married, and she's going on a month-long holiday.
Miss Muriel won't be home for another month. Can't even go to see her.
I'm sorry to hear it.
So he makes up a big old batch of his animal juice, and he hits the town. First thing he does is track Ivy down, and she's pretty freaked out by him. He gets real nasty when she tries to leave, but he won't let her. We cut over to Layton coming over to Jekyll's house looking for him, but Pohl tells him he hasn't been around. Muriel has been writing him, but he hasn't been answering. Jekyll is still in Hyde form and he's been keeping Ivy hostage. He eventually comes back and reads a letter saying that Muriel is home. So he has to tell Ivy, hey, I'm going away, but I'm coming back for you. With Muriel back in town, Jekyll comes clean to Muriel about his work and he wants to drop his work and just walk away from it all. He says he's been hurt in the soul and now Muriel is the only thing that can keep him whole again. Kind of a strange analogy. More good news. Her father says, you know what guys, let's get married next month. And they plan a dinner to celebrate. He sends Ivy 50 pounds. I'm gonna guess he's sorry for what Hyde did, and he's trying to cover up that they're the same person. So Ivy's gonna be like, oh my god, Jekyll has come to my rescue once again. That night, Ivy comes by to thank Jekyll for his kindness. She gets upset and tells him all about the horrible things that Hyde did to her. She begs for his help to get rid of Hyde. He says, you never have to worry about him again. He's been taken care of. On his way to dinner, clearly on cloud 9 because everything is going his way, he sits down to enjoy a bird singing. Until another bird swoops in and kills it. This triggers Mr. Hyde to appear. Another phenomenal transformation sequence. Well, it becomes apparent Jekyll isn't making dinner. Hyde is now off to kill Ivy. Girl, why didn't you lock your door? Before he kills her, he tells her that him and Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, are the same person. Hyde flees the scene and writes a letter to Layton saying it's from Jekyll and tells him that a man will be coming over later to pick up a package. Hyde arrives at Layton's looking for that package. Layton says, why don't you take me to Jekyll now? Hyde says he's fine, but Layton doesn't believe him at all. Hyde shows him what's in the box. It's the potion that's going to change him back. Now he confesses everything to Layton and tells him that he is scared, broken, and just not the man he used to be. The scene kind of reminds me of It's a Wonderful Life when George needs money from Potter. He kind of breaks down and just tells him everything. I mean, don't get me wrong, George is a way better human being than this guy. He promises him he will never make the drug ever again.
You'll promise at least never to mix this drug again.
With all my heart.
And what about Muriel?
I'll give her up.
Interesting. She normally has white on, but she has black on here.
Beg your pardon, sir. Dr. Jekyll is calling. Jekyll? Tell him we're not at home, Hobson.
Father, no, for my sake. I know he's a finer and greater person than any of us.
Silence! I won't hear another word.
I shall say it. I love him, and I'm going to help him.
This is preposterous.
He tries to leave her, but she wants to help him no matter what. Hyde runs away from her, but as he turns around and leaves, he looks in the window and sees her crying. And that's when it hits him. He feels deeply for her, and that's what triggers Mr. Hyde to appear. High, intense emotions. This is the only transformation that we don't see, by the way. Hyde sneaks back into the house to see Muriel, and she freaks out. Her father and butler try to rescue her, and they get their asses kicked, pal. Can't really say if both of them die, but we're gonna count it. The police hear the commotion and come running and chase down Hyde. Hyde books it home, and Layton is able to identify the man.
This is the weapon, Doctor.
I know whose cane this is.
Dr. Jekyll turns back one more time and sends the police on a wild goose chase.
He's gone out there, through the back door.
That is, until Layton shows up. He tells the police that Hyde and Jekyll are one and the same. Again, under stress, he transforms, pretty much ratting himself out. Hyde tries to escape, but after a daring display of parkour, one of the inspectors shoots him, and the movie ends with this really cool pan from the table where his body is over a boiling kettle. The end. So the question for this movie is, can man ever control his evil animal side? Or are human emotions animal traits? All the first-person shots are really cool and ambitious for this time. A lot of risque scenes for a 30s movie, too. There's been a few different depictions of this character.
Dr. J?
My name is Mr. Hyde! You're a big one. You'll be hard to digest.
The Hammer version of Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. That was a great movie. Do I recommend this one? Absolutely. He's not of the original Universal monsters, but I include Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde just because it's such a fantastic movie and it's one that everyone should see. Grab some pizzas and some transforming potion and check out Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.